Hello, hello. Thanks for joining the live tonight. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes for everybody to join. Hi, Daria. Hi, everyone. Okay, we have like more than 10 people. I am helping you out with, don't say it. It's not my manifestation, but it's there to seep in your subconscious, and we'll just leave it there. You know what I'm talking about? If I made a vision board, do I need to email it to you? If you're doing the 60-day challenge, yeah, send me the second tab, which is called Your Life in Images. Thanks, Daria. Everything that you like will multiply in your life. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Tuesday night. We're not even halfway through the week, which is good. There's more time for our manifestations to come through. So the 60-day challenge is like, somebody asked me if they join now, will they be behind in the group? Not at all. There's people joining almost every day, and you are where you are. And actually, people who joined after a whole bunch of people did the work, they're riding on a lot of that energy. So I want you guys to be grateful for that and to know that. And when you're joining the group, it's like there's already a support system. I'm not talking about emotionally, I'm talking about energetically. So you gotta know and be aware of that. Okay, I think I'm gonna be holding my ring up for a lot of this live. The Facebook group, some people are sending me friend requests. Please do not send me friend requests. I can't accept you. I have like just too much of my personal stuff on Facebook. You have to, if you want to join the Facebook group, go to my my bio and click the membership, and then I will add you with your email address. The system will email me that you have joined. I also want to tell everybody, okay, I've noticed there's other accounts, or somebody told me that there's other accounts that are imitating, or they're trying to copy my content, and they've downloaded my videos and put it in their account. This is my only account. I don't have a backup account. I have another account on relationships, but that's a completely different topic. I will never email you, contact you in any way, ask you to buy any of my products, ask you for money or anything like this. Do not get scammed. I don't know who these people are, but I think that's just the price that you have to pay with once you get to a number of followers. There's probably people who copy everyone's content who gets to a certain number of followers, and they just copy their account. If you see another account, please report it. Sometimes it's just one letter in the username that's different. I don't know. I reported one person, but there's more people because somebody told me, and I guess they just blocked me, so I can't see them. Don't get scammed. If you want to reach out to me, you have to reach out to me. I would never reach out to you. So make sure it's not somebody impersonating me. If you hear from me without you prompting me, that's a scammer. Okay? I guess that's the price that comes with fame. I don't know. So I just want to put this out of my awareness but I'm going to say it on every live because I just hope people don't get scammed. So I'm just going to say it once, and then I'm not really going to worry about these people who are doing these things. So last week, people do that. So last week, we have manifestation of horses. I want to do at the end of this live and at the end of next live, a little bit of a meditation on horses, because quite a few people got it, but there's people who are upset that didn't get it, or they're getting images, or they're getting something else. This week we're manifesting a stone. Remember when I say this week, last week, okay? This is 3D timing. If you are able to imprint in your mind what you're trying to manifest, the way you're communicating to the universe, the timing may not be 7 days, 5 days, 2 days. It shouldn't be like a year, right? So if you see a horse next year, it doesn't count. But it's not exactly the number of days. As the group is pushing forward and is manifesting horses, you should pick up that momentum and manifest horses as well. I want to tell you guys a very important manifestation story that happened to me, and it's very important for a couple of reasons. And it happened yesterday. So it happened today, but yesterday I put it in my mind. So pay attention to this story. Yesterday I decided, you guys know how I love to manifest small things. I'm like, I'm just about to drive to Starbucks to get my coffee. I want my coffee to be free, right? You guys know how I do that, like sort of unexpected. I manifest a lot of free coffees all the time. I'm not talking if you guys send me a coffee, that doesn't count for me as a free coffee. Just like unexpected kind of free coffee. So, I write down, I am now getting a free coffee. You have to write it in present tense. And I'm driving with the expectation to Starbucks to get my free coffee. So, I'm trying to like think, okay, the car in front of me will buy me a coffee or what have you. Like I'm already thinking about the how. So I'm already in the minus on this manifestation, right? Because I couldn't help thinking about the how. And of course, I didn't get any free coffee. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm okay with either outcome. And I just put it out of my mind. The same night, I have a thought of inviting my mom for lunch today. So I call my mom. Now, keep in mind, this idea to invite my mom for lunch comes after I have put this thought in the universe that I'm getting this free coffee. So I call her last night. I'm like, do you want to go to this place for lunch tomorrow? She says, yes. We go for lunch and, we each have a coffee and something else to eat. And the bill comes. And I kid you not, they only charged us for one coffee. It actually says on the bill, one coffee. Like 1x, her food, my food, one coffee. So I look at it and I'm like, I look at the cost of it just to make sure they didn't say one coffee, but charged me for 2 coffees. And they indeed just charged me for 1 coffee. So I'm like, okay, because I immediately associated with the free coffee, okay? So I'm like, I'm going to accept this as my free coffee. So here's the major important story here. What I was trying to do yesterday, I immediately thought about the how I'm going to get the Starbucks coffee. And of course, the moment you think about the how it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. Okay? The most important part about manifestation is to forget about the how. This is where you have to struggle with your brain. Your brain is trying to figure out the how. You have to let go of the how. So the coffee, the moment I start thinking about the how, forget it. It's not going to happen. Then, when did it happen? So when I completely gave up on that idea. But pay attention to now. You cannot cancel your previous manifestation. It doesn't work that way. You cannot cancel. A person can change anything in this reality, can shape this reality to their liking with enough directed consciousness and focus. But they can never bring back a thought form once they have released it. So even though I gave up on the free coffee and I don't need it, I'm not going to think about it. A series of events unfolded such that I get my free coffee pretty timely, right? Today. This is very interesting. Yes, Daria. It's very, very interesting. You cannot cancel. So here's where people get stuck. Why don't I manifest whatever I want? And how many negative thoughts, how many hateful thoughts have you put out there? How many times were you jealous of somebody? All of that, they're waiting in the queue. I am sorry to tell you guys this. You cannot take back any of the previous thought forms that you put out there. You cannot. This is what they call karma. This is when those guys we forgot about come back and we've moved on. Yeah, exactly. And they would come back timely before you moved on if you actually nullified their existence. We talked about this quite a bit last week. We talked about their DSPs and everything. I want you guys to just sort of let this coffee story sit with you, because even I gave up on the idea of the coffee. It still came very timely within 24 hours, but I was prompted. I wasn't planning to go for lunch with my mom. I was prompted to call her, and something must have happened in the universe that would make our server forget to punch in 2 coffees. Right? Let's think about this. All right, so now I want to talk about a little bit about DSPs. because a few people have had contact from their SPs that I told you do not reply to, okay, because it wasn't the contact that they wanted. It was kind of BS contact. Now, as you're doing this work and the 60-day challenge and working to rewire your mind and rewire the energetic scaffolding around your body, these people will come back, but it's important you don't let them back in until they show up in the version that you want them to show up in, right? So if they say, hi, how are you doing? After not contacting you for 10 months, that's not an acceptable form of contact. And of course, it depends from situation to situation. It depends what you've done to them, what they've done to you. But the idea is things will shift quickly. But your shift, let's say you need to be over here to have your SP or to have a good vibration. You're currently over here, but with this work, you moved over here. Well, SP will move with you over here. So here's where he'll say, hey, how you doing? But here's where he'll marry you or he'll be crazy about you. So you got to bring, you can't, if you accept this level, then forget it. You're going to stay at this level because he's going to lock this reality in place for you, right? Hey, how you doing? I don't know. How you doing? I don't know. I'm not doing much. You know, you still want to be friends with privileges? Sure, come on over. You're here. In fact, you've fallen probably lower. So what do we do if he does that? Ignore him? Lol. Why lol? Why lol, Queen? Queen, you have to be very, very extremely sure of what you want out of your SP, out of any man that courts you, like out of what is your expectation based on your image of yourself. Okay? Because to me, if anybody says, hey, how you doing? That's really not good enough. Right? If you hold your value that high, and believe me, if he's the guy for you, he'll persist. This is where you lack faith. You think, I gotta give. He gave this much. I gotta give this much. Now, to keep him in the game, engaged in the game with me. Oh my God, he said, hey, how are you doing? I'm gonna say, not much. I'm just at my mom's house. What's new and exciting with you? Get it? He does this. You do this. All of a sudden, he pulls back again. Why? Because he's like, okay, it's the same version of her that doesn't require, you know, a lot. Like it's just, he's feeling something because you're doing the work, but you're immediately going back to your default. Oh, let me not lose him. Dude, lose him. Lose him until he becomes the person that you would marry. Lose him until then. You're right. I'm actually just like not sure what I'd say if he does. I simply wouldn't know. Well, it depends on your situation. The person that I advised he messaged on Sunday night and I told him to delete it, but I knew her story. We had communicating on the phone, so I knew exactly what was going on. But it just depends from situation to situation. Like if he says, hi, how are you doing? But you're the one who cheated on him, it would be different, right? Than if he ghosted you. It would be a different scenario. That wasn't our dynamic. I think his ego was hurt when I stopped talking to him. This is too much about him. This is already too much. Why are you thinking about his ego? SP stands for a specific person. It's usually an ex, person we had feelings for in the past. Everything you're saying is true. Been there, done that. 3 years, no more. No more. No more. You have nothing to lose, okay? He's already gone. This version of him that's, you know, not treating you well, not showing up. What, you need a hello, how are you doing from this version of him for what? To waste more time? Let's think about this. Let's think about this. What for? What for? What benefit is it to your heart, to your life? What value add is it to you? Right? You're doing this work. It's so hard to bring ourselves up, guys. Do you notice that? This is daily work. Like it's daily work for me, for you listening to me, listening to other people. I listen to other people. Like it's daily work. I meditate, you meditate, right? To have somebody just come and snatch it with one impertinent Hey, how you doing? Now you're back in your loops. Why does it take so little for a lower consciousness to bring down a higher consciousness? We talked about this on yesterday's live. It takes zero energy to fall. Just like in 3D, right? If you fall down, gravity will just pull you. If you fall down energetically, collective consciousness will just pull you down. It takes energy to get back up. It takes energy to rise. Your association with people is so important. The closer they are to the collective consciousness, you're doing this work for nothing. For you to do these entries, to do the meditation, do everything. Then your friend calls you and complains for an hour about how men suck. Then your mom calls you, tell you everything that's wrong with her body. How then you go to work, you listen to how the economy is crap, USA is going to hell, China's taking over, whatever it is they're saying, right? All of a sudden your future's in their hands. Why are you doing this work? Then just live randomly, right? Randomly, let's see what happens. Do you manifest your beauty? Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet to say. I manifested clear skin. I used to have acne up until like a couple of years ago. And then I found I just put it in my mind that I was done with this adult acne. And the moment I did that work, it's not like it went away by itself, but I found a product, and believe me, I used like 100 products before. I found a product. I haven't really had a pimple since. And this is how it works sometimes. Sometimes whatever you put in your mind will bring you a 3D solution. Because we think when we're setting our body to heal, it will just heal overnight. It's not necessarily. You'll find a solution, right? So in 3D, a solution will be presented to whatever problem you have. I have in my link, I've linked the product and a couple of other products. It's all products I personally use. And I don't have any association with these companies. I just made a list of books and products for you guys if you wanna look at it. But I don't want to mention it on the live. I don't want to promote any products on the live. So if you guys want to know what I use generally, go there. Can you please make a video on the challenge and instructions? I think I have to, because a lot of people are confused when they get it. It takes a lot of my time and energy to explain it individually. So I think I will, and I'll pin it. Challenge video. I want to talk about manifesting in images. I just signed up, and this is the first live I have seen. Oh, is it the first live? Usually people sign up after they watch my lives a few times. So thank you for signing up before seeing my live. I want to talk just a little bit about manifesting in images, because somebody is still asking me, some people are still asking me, well, I've seen this photo and it's not really a photo. Can it count as my manifestation? Guys, there's sort of 3 steps to manifestation, right? So first, we imagine it, right? So when we imagine it, an image will come of it, whether it's in our mind or right now with technology. It's very easy. If you guys manifesting with me, everybody gets an image of the challenge every week, just by scrolling on TikTok, just by watching a movie or what have you. The image, let's say we had a horse. I had 60 testimonials of images of horses. Okay, so we've moved on from the images. We no longer accept images of our challenges, right? Because if you want your SP, seeing an image of your SP, it's useless. Then we move to step 2 now. Step 2 in our reality is only 3 steps. The first step is the image. The second step is seeing it in our reality. Seeing it in our reality is also useless, but we have to do the exercise to move on from the images, right? So seeing, for example, I want a Mercedes. Seeing it in 3D is pretty useless to me, unless it's mine, right? But I have to move on from the image, from the picture that I've seen online, to seeing it in 3D. And I got to acknowledge, always talk back to the universe. I acknowledge this is step 2. I'm on my way to my manifestation. This would be the same as if you manifest seeing your SP hand in hand with his new love walking on the street. That's useless, right? But you've manifested seeing your SP, right? So it's a step up from seeing him on social media. And then step 3 is appropriating that from 3D. Now we're doing the exercises. We're on step 2 with a group. Okay. I've accepted images for weeks of various manifestations. Now I'm moved on, you and all of us guys, to step 2. You got to see it in 3D or it doesn't count. And stay here in step 2 until you get your first manifestation in 3D. So if all you're seeing is images of horses, images of stones, that's okay. That's where you're at. It's okay. Just focus more on the work. Unscatter your energy. You guys know that thinking is work, right? It's work. You have a limited amount of energy that flows through your vessel. Although energy is unlimited, your vessel, this body, can only filter a limited amount. And this amount varies from individual to individual, from their consciousness, depending how evolved they are in their thought process, how organized they are, what they allow inside. But usually people are just randomly scattered all over the place. So when you draw in, I don't know, a glass of energy, okay? If you're spending 80% of that on random thoughts, there's only 20% to work with. Thinking, always remember, thinking is work. It exerts, it consumes energy. I can't stop stalking my SP online. Does that interfere with my manifestation? 100%. 100%. So you're not even at step 1, right? Where the universe can show you an image just by you thinking of him. You're purposely staying in 3D and locking in place the reality of him not being with you, him being in a life in which you're not included. In his photos, you're not included, right? So what does that tell you? If you don't even have control of your actions, right? I have control whether I want to put this book from here to here. If you don't even have control over your actions, how can you possibly control your thoughts? Your thoughts are so much harder to control than your actions. Guys, if you can't stop stalking your exes online, you're not ready for this work. You got to commit to yourself. You're not going to look in 3D at all while doing this work. Okay? Because if you assume you're adored and wanted, tomorrow you click on his profile, you see him with his new love. She's better looking than you, younger than you. You just undid everything that, hello, right? Let's see. If somebody is disturbing your peace, does it interfere with your progress? 100%. This is why I said your association. Sorry, guys, don't call me. I don't take calls during my lives. Your association with whoever is in your life, whether it's, your mother, your friends, at your job, is important in how fast you can progress through this work. It's extremely important, unless you're so evolved already that you can completely not be triggered by those things. I just did a video on overthinking and anxiety, and I was very clear in my video. You got to turn off the world as much as possible. By the way, in the course of this work, this week since the weekend, I had 2 breakup stories with my queens who are doing the work. 2 of them broke up since Saturday to now. Longer term relationships, because those relationships have become unbearable. Like, so much has come to the surface in the process of doing this work that they no longer can stand the version of them that was in that relationship. Get it? So this SP work doesn't only have to do if you have an ex, if you want to manifest somebody. It has to do with the longer you stay in something that's not for you, the longer you postpone what is. And this becomes painfully clear as you queens are doing the work. It's just unbearable, the person next to you. It's just the discrepancy between you affirming you're wanted and adored and provided and protected, and looking at the person next to you completely not doing that, but he's doing whatever he was doing for the last 2, 3, 4 years, right? So he hasn't changed, but you've changed. You'll find him intolerable. Don't be scared of changes. White Jeeps, what's this? I don't know, but I keep manifesting the exact opposite result. Okay, so I just did a video a couple of days ago, and it has to do with manifesting from love and hate. Everything we manifest is a derivative of a feeling of us loving, liking something, or hating, disliking something. And those things are not opposite. Okay, the opposite of what you don't want is indifference. I want you guys to completely understand that. Love and hate, they just go like, and they manifest, right? Except what you love has roadblocks, like fear. And so what you hate just goes like ahead. That's why most people's lives have more negative manifestation than positive manifestation. It's okay. You'll get it together. Okay. Because now you're noticing this and you can make adjustments. And now you're no longer thinking that random things are happening to you. You're like, I am manifesting negative. Don't say it's the opposite, because it's not the opposite. It's kind of on the same line, but it's negative. It's the negative version of what you wanted, right? It's like when I ask you to manifest a coin, you know, you might manifest heads or tails. It's the same. Love and hate is kind of like that. Okay. You're manifesting the coin, the energetic imprint of what you want, right? But it could be on the negative. Let's see. Mona, what would be an appropriate approach from SB? From your SB? He needs to show up at your door. From your particular SB queen. After all that. He will. Just gotta stand your ground, okay? Just work on you. I'm sure you're getting new attention from you guys, right? Because you already told me you are. I am considering purchasing Joe Dispenza video course. I need guidance to decide what I want in life. Okay, well, Joe Dispenza will not provide you with guidance on what you want in life. Right? I haven't done anything online from him. Actually, when I did the in-person course with him, the 7 days, I was watching him for years, and that course purchase came with a whole video sequence. It was only available for 30 days before the course, my access to it, and it wasn't downloadable. And anyways, I wouldn't copy and share it. But none of those videos will clarify what you want in life. You have to sit with yourself and understand what you want in life. Usually the way an easy way to do this is to make a list, what makes you feel good and what makes you feel bad, right? So what is it that you would do career-wise if you weren't paid to do what you do, to do one thing? Okay, let's say your financial day-to-day was taken care of somehow. Okay, what would you be doing with your time? That is the answer sort of to your purpose, right? Like whatever you do for free has a lot to do with whatever purpose you have in life. Because very few people, when they say I need money, they go for their purpose. They just go for jobs that pay. I get that, right? That's how we're structured to think. But really your purpose is what you would do for free. Let's see. What is a spell for you to win the lottery? I win the lottery all the time by thinking I am always a winner. The most I've ever won was approximately $8,000. I've won many times since, like little amounts, $147, $500 on a scratch ticket. Like I win all the time, like $20, $40. Manifesting a large amount of money has to do with your money blocks. Me, I have a major money block around large amounts of money and safety. My mother has instilled this in me. I've recently identified this like late last year when I thought deeply on it. You guys need to think deeply on this, right? I just did a video on money blocks also, but mine is that if you all of a sudden come into a large sum of money, like $50 million, you're going to be seen and somebody's going to want to take that from you, and they will use sort of, I don't even want to go into my thought process, but based to extract that from you, right? So the being seen and having all of a sudden a large sum of money is a major blockage for me to win the law. I know this is my blockage because when I program myself, I always win. I do always win, but it's, it's not amounts that are life-changing. So, in summary, I don't know a spell for you to win the lottery. Do this work, stay in abundance. Make sure you don't make the association that Queen made during my video yesterday. Watch just my latest video that I've done today, because she associated asking me a question about money with her child falling and with the child's head on the cement. And I was like, immediately I knew this person thinks that if she gets a lot of money, money must be evil. She must pay a price for that money. Let's see. I just watched a video, the set of numbers to win the lottery. Those numbers came up when I put it. It came up in many countries. Europe, it came up in the United States, and it came up that week in my lottery here in Canada. Like, it just came up. But I believe that if you just saw the video, when you run into something like this, the video is meant for you. And what you need to do is to be like, is this meant for me? If you have a way to check with the universe with your 3-digit code that I taught you how to do, you might just use it because, the ticket is $3. So who cares? Use it and see what happens. You give great advice. Thank you so much. I want you guys to think a little bit about the money blocks, because that story from yesterday's live was, I thought about that for a while. And then somebody else asked me a question that it's worth mentioning for the people who weren't on the live yesterday. She said, how can I manifest being a travel influencer when I have a weak passport? That's what they said, a weak passport. And I was like, what does she mean? She committed crime in other countries? But what she meant was she's from a country that, many other countries require a visa for her or him to get into their countries. And I was like, wow, like automatically their sense of self-worth was associated with where they're coming from, their passport. So, that's deep in the paradigm, guys, right? I'm from a place where I can't even get into other countries. I'm not recognized. I'm not seen. I'm not at the same level with the people from, do you see what I mean? Like, all this is running in the background when you say, I have a weak passport. Other people are better than me. If only I can't be a travel influencer until I have a strong passport. Like, all of this are the corollary thoughts to the thought, I have a weak passport. It all stems from self-worth. Yeah. Best subliminal tracks on YouTube. I don't know. I use a program, but I don't, necessarily promote it because it's like, it's a yearly subscription of, I think, $100. I have no association with them. It's called Mind Spa. It used to be called Synctuition. And they do 3D sounds and balancing the right and left hemisphere. And for me, that's been really, like, I've gotten a lot of inspirations while I'm doing those tracks, but I'm not associated with them. If you want to check them out, I don't know if they have samples. I just like to have one place where I go and I'm organized. Because what happens is, just like Netflix, YouTube is like Netflix. You go on YouTube and before you know it, it's 20 minutes of you searching for something that would match whatever you're trying to achieve. And I don't want to be in this randomness, like when I go on YouTube, it's for a reason. It's either to listen to an audiobook or just, do you know what I mean? Or listen to something that I know, like I know I'm going to do when I click on the app. That's how I keep my mind organized. I also don't watch Netflix. So every time I try to watch it, like, again, it takes me 20 minutes to decide what I want to invest myself in. And then I just say, forget it. I have relationship blocks. We all have relationship blocks. How do I join your program? The link is in my bio. Pretty ring. Okay, so there is this ring is a subliminal for anybody who's doing the work with me. Because this week we're manifesting a green stone. So you don't need to comment on it. You just need to let your brain absorb it. This is not my manifestation. I had this from before. I put it on for you guys to subliminally influence you. We can all do it. My friend's husband won 1 million in a scratch off. Yeah. But this is worthless information unless you give me the backup story on how he manifested that, or was it random? If you don't focus your mind, all sorts of random stuff can happen to you. Good stuff and bad stuff. It all has to do with what you put out there, how you've imprinted the formless substance, at which point in your life, what's cued in your cue, right? So if you're telling me somebody won $1 million, the only relevance that would have for this group is if there's a story that's associated with it. There is somebody who won. So her story, I followed her interview on her story because it was a manifestation story. Her name was, is Stan.store. Do you guys know about her? She won the jackpot, the Powerball at some point a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago. And the way she did it, she says in her interview, for 6 years, she worked on herself on the law of attraction for this one purpose. She was manifesting health. She was manifesting SPs. And then sort of her life was falling apart around her, right? She wasn't paying attention. Her law of attraction was around winning this jackpot. And what happened in the course of her life, I don't know, her brother died, her other brother lost their job. She ended up with all the kids over all her brothers. She didn't have any kids of her own. So all of a sudden she was raising like 5 children that weren't hers. And then she woke up one morning and she said, this is the day when I'm going to win the jackpot. But again, she had prepped herself for 6 years. She wrote herself, she looked what the jackpot would be. She wrote herself a check for that and then she won it. So, I want you guys to pay attention to this story. She had a singular focus in life and it didn't matter. She wasn't discouraged by her life falling apart. She wasn't scared to take in 5 children because she knew sooner or later, okay, what I'm talking to you guys, persistence. When you have a singular focus and you persist, this is also in the Bible, right? You guys know, I don't remember the passage, but the passage is like, somebody knocks on your door at 2 a.m. and asks for a loaf of bread, and then you don't go answer, and then he knocks and he knocks, and in the end, you just open the door and say, here, go away, right? And it's a story about persistence. You can't say no to somebody who insists. You won't be able to say no. The universe can't say no to you. Jim Carrey did that too, wrote a fact check to himself. Yes, I know that. But Jim Carrey was manifesting. So the 10 million that Jim Carrey was manifesting, it's important he didn't win it in a jackpot, right? Or in the lottery. He was manifesting being a top actor in Hollywood. He always says that. And in order to prove himself as a top actor, he wrote himself what a top actor would be earning. And then he even signed from Hollywood or something like that. It wasn't like, from the Lottery and Gaming Corporation of California, right? So it was important for him. His manifestation was actually being a top actor. And the 10 million was just something that happens when you're a top actor. Manifested receiving a gift in 3 days. A worker at the gym gave me a fitness book, beautifully wrapped. Yes. Jim Carrey understands. Jim Carrey, yeah. So if you guys, I think it's worthwhile looking in the story of this Cynthia lady if you want to manifest a lottery win. If you have a lottery win that's associated with you doing certain manifestation work, I'd love to hear about it. Even if it's not $1 million, I'd love to hear about it. And you would be contributing to the group. Are you the lady that talks about codes? You mean to talk to the universe in codes? I suggested to my group, they do a 3-digit, and to anybody who wants to listen, to talk to the universe and to program into the universe a yes or no with a 3-digit code that you pick that has nothing to do with your life. By the way, those of you who are doing the 3-digit, is it working? Cynthia.store, I think, or Stanford. If you Google Cynthia.store lottery winner, she'll pop up. And she has interviews on YouTube. By the way, Cynthia lost her money. She became bankrupt, like most lottery winners. Because, let's talk about this, it's important. Why do most people who win the lottery become bankrupt or worse off than before? Most people become bankrupt because they're not manifesting abundance, okay? So people who are wealthy, they're not manifesting wealth consciousness, which is where your mind should dwell. People who want to win the lottery are consumers, usually consumers. Rich people don't even play the lottery, okay? These consumers, all they think about is how to consume the money, right? So you plant a seed, and then when the fruit grows, you eat it right away, even though you should be planting half the seeds in that fruit, of that fruit. So wealthy people don't behave that way. When they get a large sum of money, they're thinking, how can this money make me more money? That's the difference. If you're thinking of winning the lottery as a consumer, A, you're probably not going to win the lottery because you don't have a wealth consciousness, or B, you're not going to be able to keep it. It's an important difference. Cynthia Stafford, yeah. Poor mindset. Yes. Anybody who's looking to manifest a large sum of money to consume it or to pay off debt, even worse, to pay off debt. If only I could manifest 100 grand to pay off debt, is in a poverty mindset. And from that poverty mindset, you can't really manifest abundance. How did you get into manifesting? I made an association about 10 years ago with how I was manifesting as a child. What was happening to me as a child, as I would tell a lie, it would come true. And it could come true in that really like weird and miraculous ways. And I always thought, oh, it's because God is making it true. So, because he doesn't want me to be a liar. And, about 10 years ago, I started to think about this very seriously. I stumbled into the works of Abraham Hicks, and I started making these associations. And then I figured to myself, I'm going to manifest something big. And I did. And since then, I sort of learned, it's study and practice, right? I learned how to do more and more things and going deeper and deeper into this work. But the reason I'm doing this is because last year, I really hit a new level. So in October of last year, I went to a Joe Dispenza seminar, the 7-day retreat, and I had this transcendental experience in which I was told I got to share more of this with people and more of my knowledge with people, that this information is actually dying to come out. It's dying to come out because the opposite of it that's in the world right now that's keeping people stuck is also trying to oppress people more so than ever in history, right? So it's just a counter action to that is just so strong, right? So when they don't want you to read books anymore and to study, and they keep you into what the Kardashians are doing and whatever else the war in Russia or whatever else is happening, right? You don't have time to assimilate or gather this information. This information is dying to come out. It must come through people who understand it more, right? Who just like, if I could make it click for 10 people, that's sort of what came to me while I was lying on the floor with 1,800 people at the seminar in a meditation. If I could make it click for 10 people, then it's worth it. If I can make it click for 100 people, do you know what I mean? Those 100 people will click it to 100 more people, and then so on. And it doesn't have to be a profound, massive shift. It just has to be a little bit so that they can see this is how reality works. So that they can bring back their scattered power, their stolen power, bring it back to themselves and create a better life, right? I promise you, your life will improve if you're doing this work. Your life will improve because your feelings will improve. And feelings is where we create from. If your feelings improve and you start acting on those feelings, you'll have no choice but to change your point of attraction. I promise you your life will improve. I can't promise you you're going to win $1 million, but I promise you whatever's not working for you will fall apart. Let all the people who want to go. Break up with relationships that don't resonate with you. Do not be afraid of losing anything. Whatever you're going to lose in the process of this work is not for you. It's making room for something else. When I started this like 10 years ago, like really hardcore, the first thing that happened is I lost my job. Like very surprisingly, right? The company, I wasn't fired. I was let go because the company just majorly over the course of 6 months, it was a big company, lost 2 major contracts, and they were just packaging people out like crazy. And I was like, how is this, I'm manifesting abundance, more money, and, but it happened. It happened. And that situation had to crumble for this to happen. Do not be afraid of anything that's unfolding in 3D. I lost my apartment. Now we're in a house. That's how it works. Me too. I manifested money and got laid off. Better is coming. I promise you. Just stay on the work though. Do not fall in 3D. Do not fall in, oh my God, I'm never going to find something. The economy is bad. The interest rates are high. Don't even listen to that. Know that this is the unfolding of your manifestation. Started talking to this guy and I feel attached to him. How do I eliminate the attachment? Why do I want to eliminate the attachment? You're talking to him because you like him, no? This is a good question. What is your practice every night before you go to sleep? So first of all, guys, if you can, okay, before you go to sleep, do your routine such that you don't talk to anyone else before you fall asleep. That would be good, right? So you don't look at your phone. They say this for your health, but it has a lot to do with this. So it's not like I scroll until I'm tired. And then, so you need that time where it's just you, and you need to sense yourself. You need to sense the infinite supply, the formless substance all around you, and you need to communicate with it, right? In terms of physical routine, always wash your face before you go to bed. And I'm not talking just makeup removal. Just wash your face with fresh water, right? Just say, I let the day go. I have a shower video in which you purposely let the water cleanse you of energy and energetics. So, make sure the last thing you do in terms of your physical routine is you put water on your face. You have a glass of water by your bed, speak to that water such that if you wake up during the night and consume that water, the water has intention. Before you go to sleep at night, fall asleep. This is not easy to do, right? Because I said this work is simple, but it's not easy to do. I really don't think about anything in my day. Like I don't think necessarily, unless I've had an event, it kind of like didn't sit well with me and I revise it, but otherwise I just let it go. I know tomorrow's something else. Tomorrow's a different me. But I know this is not where most people are. Most people think about what they could have said better in the meeting, what, their SP said to them, what their mom said, and they're having this conversation in your head. Your absolute top priority is to stop the conversation in your head. Water is very powerful. Yeah. Use water to cleanse yourself energetically. And when you drink the water, drink it with intention. I said I'm going to do a water thing, but I don't have my water with me. So we're going to do it on Thursday night. Be prepared for the live on Thursday night with a glass of water next to you, because I want to put some focused intention in that. Any stress in your mind creates dissonance. Okay. So if you're stressed about anything, your work has to be in letting go. It really has to be in letting go. In terms of the 60-day challenge, do it in the morning. I don't know. I know people do it throughout the day, but I always like doing myself in the morning because I wake up, I wash my face again, I'm fresh. Okay, now I'm going to imprint into the formless substance how I want the day to go. How do I get an ex-boyfriend back? Please help. Go through my content. I have a lot of content about SPs. The general idea is you block and delete him and you don't think about him. It's so counter. It sounds so dumb to anybody who's listening to this, who's not into this work, right? You gotta nullify the existence of the version of him that's an ex for a reason. Get it? Like the version of him that dumped you or whatever, that version of him has to go. But go through my content. I have a lot of videos on SPs. I don't want to be attached because I have a fear of no forward progression. No, Queen. You might meet the love of your life while doing this work. No. Don't think of it that way, right? Like in the course of this work, a lot of the old structures will crumble, but a lot of new ones may come in. It's not like you do the work for 60 days and during those 60 days, you can't speak to anybody. You have to do what feels right. If you feel a purity to this attachment, and if you feel his behavior towards you reflects what you're writing in the 60-day challenge, right? I'm loved, adored, wanted. I meet protectors. I meet providers. I meet men who prioritize me. And all of a sudden a guy shows up who shows that. Why would you not want him? Let's think about this. Every time I block, the ex comes back. Yeah. That's how it works, guys. SP is a specific person. Does it really work? It really works. It really works because you are no longer the person who thought it didn't work and it couldn't work. And so the most important thing is to convince yourself that it works. This is why I have my small exercises. Okay, I'm going to tell everybody because there are a lot more people on the live. This is my only manifestation account and I will not contact you for any reason. So please do not be scammed. If somebody contacts you and it looks like my username, it looks like I'm DMing you from my Insta. I never do that. I don't contact anybody that I don't personally know and I don't ask for anything. If you guys looking for my services, you have to contact me. I will not contact you to promote anything. Do not get scammed as fake accounts are downloading my videos or screen recording I can't prevent that, right? That's the price of being on the internet. So let's see what else I wanted to say as we're closing up here. Remember that you will be tested in the area of your greatest weakness while you're doing this challenge. And when it will hit you, okay, you have to remember it's just a test. It's just a test. I just want to see what last question. What if you have to talk 1 to 2 times a month with the SP during this time? The only reason you would need to talk to your SP is if you have a child together or if you're in business with him, if he's a coworker, right? I just want to make sure we define what have to talk to him is. You have to talk to him. So my lives are every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard and every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. SP is a specific person that's in your mind. We'll talk about talking to the SP. If you have to talk to your SP, I'll either talk about it on my next live, have to talk to him, because my advice is, yeah, block and delete and never look at their lives. But you're right, if your SP is the father of your child or your boss, you know, that would be a bit different. So let me do a comprehensive reply to this. Okay, so here's what I want to do. First, let me show you my subliminal, right? This week, we're manifesting a green stone. I'll just take a look at the screen and just, you don't have to think about it. Just let it go. This isn't it, by the way. It's going into your subconscious. My eyes are green too, yeah. Okay, now for the people who are still upset about not manifesting horses, before I do I am a winner, I want to do a short 30 seconds visualization, okay? So everybody close your eyes. Now we're getting to the group work, okay? If you don't want to be part of the group, please drop the live. That's the end of it. I'll be back on Thursday at the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. So close your eyes. if you're part of the group. And here's the horses I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine you're no longer where you are, and you are somewhere in the setting of a Western movie. Okay, somewhere in Arizona, somewhere in Wyoming, somewhere there where there's a lot of horses. They're all wild horses. And as you're there alone, you're alone in between this mountainous, arid mountainous area. You see these horses starting to run in the distance. There's a lot of them. My God, there's like 25, 30. You start counting them. They're all beautiful, shiny, very wild. You're not afraid of them because they're in the distance. They're galloping across the area and you're just looking at them. You're like, it's like watching a Western, except you're in it. It's live. It's in your 3D reality. You can even smell the dust that is happening, that's permeating the air from their galloping. Those are the horses that must come in your reality. They're here because you're there with them. 1, 2, 3 horses, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can open your eyes. Those are the horses you're manifesting. Sally, you manifested a horse yesterday. It has to be a live horse. Okay, this imaging will help. It will help more people manifest horses. You have until the end of next week. I'm extending this. I'm actually going to be away next week. I'll still be doing videos in my Facebook group, but I won't be doing my lives. But anyways, we have one more live until then, which is this Thursday. Yes, I am very happy for everybody who's getting their manifestation. You know what? You might think it's irrelevant, but it's extremely relevant for your subconscious to see this manifestation in 3D. It's extremely relevant. It's associating the instruction that you gave it with what you're seeing, and we're not accepting images. Are you going to Hawaii? Not yet. Not yet. And by the way, I could buy a ticket and go to Hawaii, but I don't want it like this. I'm manifesting the Hawaii. I'm manifesting it. It has to be serendipitous. Okay. The Hawaii thing has to come before January or by January, by the end of January, and it has to be serendipitous. It can't just be like me buying a ticket to go to Hawaii. Remember my free coffee story. The moment I let go of the free coffee that I didn't manifest on my time frame, it came to me when I wasn't thinking about it within 24 hours. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with anything. Put your hands together. We're now doing I am a winner. We're going to do it 3 times, 6 times, and 9 times. You have to do it with me or you can drop the live. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.